Welcome to Open Talk and Run.
I am Rochelle, aka Coach Red.
Coach E. I'm the director of Arkansas Bulldawgz, and just happy to be here.
What's up, this Coach Drew?
What's up? It's Coach Pip.
What's going on? This is Coach Marcus.
What's up with it? This Coach E with Arkansas Bulldawgz Youth Sports Organization. I have here.
Coach Drew.
Coach Marcus.
Coach Pip.
And man, today we're going to get into a pretty important subject, the condition of sports in Arkansas. And I know we talk about this quite a bit. Where do you guys think where do you think Arkansas stands as far as, the conditions of it and kids staying home to play, even on, school level?
Well, I think a lot has to do with the mentality of the parents and the kids. So I've asked probably about 6 or 7 coaches that I know within basketball, football, track. My question I posed to them was, why do you think we have kids leaving the state to go play sports outside of Arkansas? We got kids going, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, all that, from high school all the way down. So the biggest thing I got was the mentality. Since we had a couple kids do it and was successful, made it to the league, put they self on the map, they family on the map. A lot of these other kids think they could do the same thing. So whether they on that level or not, it's the mentality of it. You got the wrong people in your ear, saying, hey, yeah, if you go do this, if you lead a state, you could be from here to here, not knowing that, they not even on that level. They just going to go ride the bench, So then they come back and say, yo, I went and played with Team Thad or, JL3, just for the clout. But that don't really mean nothing. But, like I said, that was just the responses I got from a couple of the coaches. So, I want to know what y'all think before I kind of dive in on, their responses.
Coach Mark?
I think we're pretty much at an intersection when it comes to the Arkansas sports. You have the elite, and then there's a major drop off from the elite to the next tier of players. So you have the top of the top, and then it's like there is no middle class of athletes.
Yeah.
So either you're good or you're just now getting into sports. I believe Arkansas sports is just so way behind, and it's just so way behind me. I talk to kids who are just now picking up a basketball in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
That's you're way behind already, And so when you get to that elite, when you get to that level like this, kids want to play against better competition.
Yeah.
And right now, I don't think Arkansas has that elite players to have that good competition. And most of these teams they're going to, they do a lot of traveling around around the world.
Yeah.
Most of these teams in Arkansas don't travel that much. All they travel
is finances then? So now we go into, is it finances that we can't provide, or is it just like you said, just
I think it's more just of getting my name out, just getting my name out. So I think it's just more of getting my name out. I don't think Arkansas is putting the resources behind it for it to be effective. Because when you think about Texas, when you think about like Florida, they are putting resources behind their programs. Yeah. They're putting resources behind their high school.
You can look at the stadium.
Yeah, you can look at the stadium.
Like they over that water,
they put
you
money.
see that big
They
old
put
stadium.
money. When you look at the state of Arkansas, some of our gyms ain't been remodeled since,
Man, you can't even play at some of these gyms.
So,
some of the middle school gyms you can't even play in because they so in bad shape. The condition is horrible. So I get what you're saying. I was talking to his brother is actually a high school coach at High Springs. And we literally talked about this last night, the state of these young athletes. And he was just like, man, the gap from when we played is real different. We don't have those kids that work on their craft. They want to take the easy way out, and then that shows when, we talking about the condition of the athletes here in Arkansas.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Coach Drew, what you think?
I mean, I think y'all both have some valid points, and I agree with those points too. I just also feel like another part of it is probably parents getting desperate of trying to get their kids out of the state. So Arkansas, if we just speak about the crime in Arkansas right now, it's crazy. And I'm not saying other states don't have crime, but I think parents are getting desperate to find a solution as far as when summer hit, like you're around these kids all through school. When summer hit, I'm trying to get you in a new environment to show you that it's more out here in the world other than what you just see in Arkansas. So I think another part of it, aside from what y'all already said, because I do think a lot of it is resources too. We don't have the resources here. When you think about Arkansas, like you said, the schools, the stadium, the resources we put behind it, the training equipment we have, you go to like Northwest Arkansas, and I look at the training you get up there versus the training you get down here in Central Arkansas. It's a whole nother level of training that I see up there, the equipment wise, and what they have access to. Not so much the trainers, but I can train you as far as what I got with me. I got a jump box, but you go up here and they got a whole gym where they can just walk in, and these kids got access to it whenever they need it. So I think, resources is one thing. And then also, like I said, I think the parents are trying to find a solution to keep these kids off the street and get them some guidance on it's more out here in the world that you can look forward to other than what we see on the daily in Arkansas.
For me, when I look at the condition of the sports here, me personally, I agree with y'all points too, but I notice the universities here don't really set a trend. Mm-hmm. They don't set the atmosphere. When you think about most major states in sports, the universities kind of set the market. University of Arkansas is they Arkansas. Like, our university don't have no rival games. And it's like when you come here, it trickles down. Like you said, it's not an exciting market here for basketball. We don't even have any social media stars here.
So let me ask a question. So
what was that?
I know you said it starts from the university.
Well, I don't necessarily say it start, but I'm saying I think that plays
a big part. Mm. So I know, like, back in the day when I played with the Von Wafers and those type of kids, they were coming here to play. So what do you think the change is? Because you can go back to the Wings, the Hawks, those type of organizations. Yeah. Those kids was coming here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We had kids all the way from Missouri. So what do you think has changed from I guess you say the universities have a part in it? So you think they are not really looking into their hometown to recruit these kids? That's taking effect on everything?
To a certain extent. Because if you think about ULR, they sit right here in Little Rock. You don't see ULR's coach. There's no rivalry games. Arkansas to us is Northwest Arkansas. You don't never see the coach. But when you go to Texas is an all-around sports state. They coaches embrace. Like, for example, we got excited seeing Pittman at Mills. It was like that was the greatest thing ever happened. You get what I'm saying? We don't have any celebrities here pushing. We got a couple, but I mean, when you go to most major cities, you got
they actually coaching. They around the program and stuff. So
and they pouring back in the community. It's just you don't. And it go back to these gyms. Like, we over here fighting over church gyms and regular. But I'm saying, because like you said, you don't reg leagues and every other gym.
Busting heads to get in the gym.
Exactly. Like, you got to pay $5 per person, and it's just Arkansas doesn't offer as a whole the resources that you need to make kids excited. It's sad because it's like you got 2 or 3 programs who can clean up all the major talent here, and then Lord knows if like Nick Smith, he played for Bradley Beal. Nothing's wrong with that, but I'm saying, but we didn't have nothing to offer him. So it's like, I don't know, man. I just feel like the university do kind of play a part of like setting the trend and the excitement for sports in the state. Because like this one on the stage too, where you don't have a lot of, you have born Razorback fans, but we don't have any tradition here.
looking back, we have really never really had any top tier players come out of here.
Facts.
I played Nick Smith has probably been the highest one that we
From high school.
Now we didn't have some good players.
Well,
come
now
out
you're
here,
right. From high school,
but we didn't
he's
have anybody that just to bring somebody.
They heavily promoted.
Here to do that.
Because Joe Johnson came late at Arkansas.
Yeah, but I mean he wasn't drawing people like that.
People to come down.
Yeah, to come like that. But he was. So we don't really have like the top tier people, top tier social media people to bring people to Arkansas, and then it's also about resources.
Yeah, fact.
And I talk to my guy Tavares all the time, and he says in every neighborhood there is a designed basketball court in every neighborhood.
Fact.
I mean, once you build a neighborhood, there's a basketball court in your community to help you. That you look at Arkansas, it's hard to find an outside court just to go shoot it. Mm-hmm.
Without the fear of being shot at.
Right.
I mean, so
the nets and rim going off the
Double
ground.
rim.
It goes back. It goes back to the resources of. It goes back to the resources of, and I wouldn't necessarily. It goes back to the resources of the top tier programs.
Mm.
So the ISO Joes and the other, but it doesn't trickle down to the next phase.
Yeah.
So when you take all those Nick Smith out and all those, then you look at the brand of basketball we have, what happens? It's not trickled down. So we need to, I think we do need to invest more resources into the next tier of basketball. Yeah. Not the elite level, but the next tier of basketball. Because sometimes going to basketball games, it's hard to look at. It's hard to look at.
Yeah.
It is.
So,
Yeah, I feel like we don't support each other either as far as organizations. Like you might not be able to use this kid, but I might have another program that I know of that can use this kid. Or I remember when we was coming up, you had organizations where this organization had a fundraiser, we might support your fundraiser, and then that organization come back and support our fundraiser when we have a fundraiser. Or even just promoting the fundraisers and stuff. Like, it was way different. I just remember it being different as far as the support from the community coming up when we were playing sports.
Yeah.
It was a whole different support even in the community. Like, everybody was pushing to see kids play sports and coming to fundraisers and coming to games and stuff. But like now, we gotta try to coddle the fundraisers to make sure it's an online fundraiser and it's not a fundraiser that you gonna have to drive somewhere to come support us. We gotta do certain kind of fundraisers to get support for our kids. So it's just, I just don't feel like we have the support in Arkansas either towards our sport.
All right, so with that being said, Coach Pilt, Coach Drew make a good point. Why don't you feel like the support's not there for I guess you can say AAU sports when we speaking more specifically about that?
It's all about the money. It's a money grab. So it is a money grab. So let's just be honest. So when we talking about certain tournaments, let's say I'm speaking in general, everyone. So if I say I'm hosting a state tournament for all the top teams in the state, I'm saying that, but I'm gonna take any team from the state of Arkansas just because you bringing that money. You know what I'm saying? So you may not have won nothing all year, but at the end of the day, you win money. I remember us personally, we played a team probably about 6 times last year.
Facts.
Beat them by 40 every single time, and I'm sitting here looking, your average loss is 30+. Why are you in some of these tournaments? It's because I'm bringing 4 or 5 age groups. So with that being said, if I'm charging $300 per tournament, how much money that is?
Yeah.
And on top of that, you bringing a fan. So it's all about the money. So you got about 3 or 4 different people down here throwing tournaments on the same weekend as we talked about before, and nobody really cares because it's like I'm gonna keep doing me because at the end of the day, I don't care who I get in my tournament. I'm getting money.
You just trying to fill that age
you can
group.
make. I know you can make. Let's go. I know we're talking about basketball, football. you can make $60,000 on a weekend for
Yeah.
throwing a tournament. Look
And
how
he
much
didn't
money.
say that's
Look,
how
I say
much you are making.
$60,000.
We talking in general.
Yeah, so we're talking 60,000 on a weekend. So who don't want to jump into that business to throwing tournaments? You got everybody trying to throw tournaments and stuff now. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's legit or the quality is there or whatever, everybody trying to get that bag. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have the people out here that's really like, okay, I see your organization, I see this organization. This is what everybody want to see. So let's do something together to kind of, you know, put on for the state, everybody to come out, because you can have a team full of elite players, but you going out of state to play, ain't nobody really seeing them. It ain't being put on TV. It's not on ESPN. So how are we going to see these teams compete against each other?
Fair.
All we doing is hearing it from Facebook. Yeah, that team won by 2. Dang, sound like it was a hell of a game, but who saw it?
Who saw it?
You know what I'm saying? So nobody here wants to stay in the state and play. For one, money grab, and 2, the biggest thing is I don't want that loss. So I don't want that loss. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna play the game. And I had coaches tell me,
your record is your reputation.
yeah,
It's
like
your selling
I talked
point.
to Edwin before. I had coaches tell me we don't play teams in the state because we don't want them to create a big clout on them beating us. Man, what? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are my 2 biggest things as to why, you know, we in the condition we in.
Well, I talked to a couple of coaches too, and I know one of the reasons why they don't play in state is because once you play in state and you got a good guard and a player on your team,
Still.
somebody gonna try to steal your players.
Yeah.
Somebody try to steal your players. And I mean, and so I understand the reason why you play out of state. You mean, you put all this work in to develop a kid and do all this thing for somebody else to come and take your players.
Hold
I
on,
mean,
hold on.
look how that look.
Hey, hold on.
I got a
I knew
question
they was
off
finna
of
come
that.
off of that. Mark, you open up a can.
Just let me ask you specifically a question. Then we'll get to everybody, but I just want your answer right now, just for the sake of the
Okay.
show. Can you steal a player? Now I just want you to give me a nice.
can you steal a player?
Yeah, technically, is it still? I'm just asking. Just give.
How
like,
how do you steal a player? Like,
no. I'm not saying you
I'm
wrong
trying to see.
for the viewers
free.
because like that's like I had to stop you and ask. You.
Yeah.
Can,
I mean, when you think-
is it stealing players if the
When
parents?
you think about when you tell a kid from a startup organization that if you come to everything you want is basically paid for.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a parent gonna say, okay, if I had to pay $300 for you to play or free, of course I'm gonna send my child over here for you to
Yeah.
play.
So now the question I want to ask. So is it how I want to ask this? So if they're able to steal the player from you, is it something that you got to look in the mirror and be like, shoot, I'm not doing something right? Because I feel like regardless of what we're doing, and me and you coach together,
Right.
so we haven't had too many kids that get stolen from us. So at the end of the day, if you're a good coach and you're actually doing things right, can they steal a player?
But if you're not, notice that we're in a different age now. So now we're in the multimedia age. So if you're not putting my baby out there so he can get the recruits that he need or he can get these NIL deals that he need, and this other team can, you know.
So hold on, come on, not to cut you out, but let's start because I want to get into this. But let's get Coach Drew's opinion on what we was talking about.
What the
Please,
solution?
I was just about to say, please just give me the answer. 'Cause I
The
don't-
solution to the condition of the state of Arkansas.
We talking about the solution
like
to
the
it?
tournaments.
I don't know. I think the solution is probably just gonna be like us coming together and getting back to where it's about the kids again, and it's not
Yeah.
about the money. Like, yeah, we all want to make money, and yeah, we all want to see our business grow and all of that. But if we saying we doing this for the kids and we can't keep the kids in the state of Arkansas, how much growth is your business gonna have realistically? Eventually, it's gonna be a decline. When you talk about trends, you're gonna have a spike that's gonna go up, and then once these kids start filtering out, the decline gonna come, and that decline hit way harder because you done got used to a $60,000 weekend, and that turned into a $15,000 weekend. That's way different. So I think when you get back to where it's about the kids, and we sit down as a group and we say, hey, we gonna throw a tournament this weekend. And then next weekend, y'all can throw a tournament. And we going to shift all the teams over there that y'all want. And we can even set it up where it's like, we going to throw an elite tournament this weekend. Y'all can throw a tournament for kids that's in the intermediate phase of the sport. And so the elite teams are playing in the gym where they have a more competitive atmosphere there, and then you have the intermediate teams playing in another gym where it's competition still, but it's my level of competition.
But that goes back to coaches don't want these losses. I heard it all last year.
Here's
coaches
the thing.
don't want these losses, so that's going to be something that how is that even going to happen when you got these coaches with so much pride? I know a couple organizations. I promise I would say about the last 3 years, I haven't seen them play in the state Arkansas.
Like I said,
in Little Rock, I'll say Little
you
Rock.
got to go back to the kids, it being about the kids. If it's about the kids, you're not even thinking about the having a loss on my record. You thinking about the advancement of the players. Where are these players going to be able to grow the most at? It's not going to grow your team to go play a team that you know got 5 starters when you know you only got 1 player that can play good. It's not going to advance these 5 starters to go play a team that only got 1 good player. How does that either team, when you look at it, who helping who? Ain't nobody getting the help they need, because that same star athlete team go out of state gonna get mopped when you competing with against another team that got 5-star athletes and a bench. And you used to coming to Arkansas and you playing in rinky-dink tournaments with intermediate or beginning stage kids when y'all been playing since y'all was coming up in elementary. If we all just get back to the place of it's about the kids. We done had our time. Let's be real. If you coaching basketball, your time of being in the league is over with. If you coaching,
speak for yourself.
Boy, yours is definitely over with.
I still got it.
Yours definitely over with. Unless you a coach.
Look, he got the headband on. He's still ready.
That's exactly how I know it's over with for him. So yeah, like it's about improving these kids the best way we possibly can. And if we get back to that space and we sit down as adults and take the money, the pride, and all the extra out, and we say, how do we help our kids?
Take the money.
We good.
Now remember, we just offering solutions. We not saying that it's gonna work out. We're just speaking from our standpoint. But I say this, to me, I feel like these tournament directors need to come together and figure out what is the purpose of what we're doing. I think about last year we had only 1 NCAA certified tournament here.
What was that?
Peter, the Maverick. He had college coaches there.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
what was the name of that tournament?
I don't remember. But no, I'm serious though. But
no, I wasn't trying to be funny.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Like a week.
Because I know that's a legit team.
The Mavericks. I mean, shout out to them. Petey actually had college coaches in the building. I'll look it up, but that was the only NCAA certified tournament we had last year.
I know a few said they was gonna have college coaches, and I didn't really see. I don't count my homeboy who's at say he's not there. I'm just speaking at Shorter College. I don't count him. He's already here.
He's already here.
Like I don't really count that.
But that's what I'm saying. They need to come together, and they need to, instead of being about businesses trying to make the most money and establish themselves, they need to come together, like you said, and we need to, like y'all said, and we need to figure out what are we truly doing this for, and we need to start bringing prestigiousness to these tournaments. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm not saying we got like the best team. It was some games where we need to be in some mid-tier tournaments, but what I am saying is, I'm like, Drew, I remember we played in one tournament. Man, our girls got beat so bad. I know they didn't learn nothing. They couldn't even break the
press. They learned how to take a loss.
Man,
they know that already.
They figured it out. But what I'm saying is they was playing against legit, like future D1 prospects who was already on that level. And man, when they were pressing us, the girls couldn't even get the ball on the ground, Lord. So you can't learn when you can't dribble. Like you can't even see over these tall girls. So what I'm saying is like
I think though, for real though, like real talk, it's gonna take a couple organizations to take a stand. You know what I'm saying? Because
these prices
but that's why nobody's gonna stop. Like I remember a tournament director tell me man, I had such and such call and ask me for some teams for his tournament. He said, man, I told him I'm going to charge you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, stuff like when you thinking like that, because times have changed, the money has. We went to a tournament. It was $25 to get in per person. So
And one a scout.
you can't, and not a scout in sight. So you can't see, and you had a team in there that had shirts on his jerseys. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't say, I think we have to look beyond taking the money out, the directors having the conversations, because when you got the mindset like that, oh, I'm charging you to get contacts with these teams, you know what I'm saying, for your tournament. Like, I literally heard this stuff. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to take people taking a stand and being like, all right, we're going to come together and we're going to do our own thing and we're going to make it about the kids. And we're going to try to bring Arkansas sports back to Arkansas.
So do the coaches come together and say, hey,
it's the coaches, because we don't want to control it.
So, all right, we all going to register for this one tournament this time, or y'all go here, we going to go here. Is that what you saying is a part? It can be a solution?
I'm scared of that.
It can be that, and it can be we're not going to put our money into this tournament that's charging us $350 to play scrub teams, and we got to provide our own scorekeeper and our own clock worker.
That's
you know
crazy to me.
And then running clock 8.
Yeah, so when you're talking
minutes.
about that, if we can come together, but like we're gonna do something ourselves and make it to where, hey, you don't have to worry about this, you don't have to worry about that, and we not charge you $350.
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, you're gonna bring 3 or 4 teams instead of $350. I'm just gonna charge you $325. What the hell is $25?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this.
It's gonna take us taking a stand and being like, all right, if you don't change X, Y, and Z, then we're gonna do this. I've seen it happen in other sports. I haven't seen it happen in basketball yet because everybody's scared to be like, all right, this is what we finna do and this is final.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like, let's say we have 4 tournament directors, do you feel like each one should take an age group and just focus on it? They still getting their money, and it don't oversaturate the market.
You can't do that because you lose a lot of support. So just like y'all organization last year, when y'all went to a tournament, y'all took at least 3 teams. You know what I'm saying? Like you taking multiple teams. So if you just focusing on one age group, you losing a lot of support.
I think you can break the categories.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Elementary,
Yeah.
middle school, because even though you losing my 9th and 10th, you getting all the elementary kids that was going to such and such that weekend. So if they focus on one, or a tournament director focus on elementary, then you go over here, this the middle school tournaments, and you go over here and do this.
It's the high school tournament.
Yeah, high school tournament. I feel like that'll help out too, because you're not spreading all these kids across, and then you might play this team, this. You get what I'm saying? You're not spreading it thin.
I think you can do that. You have some tournaments that are just focused on, let's say, like prep hoops. You got prep hoops next, and then you have like prep hoops. So, like, I think it's prep hoops next focus on the younger group, and then prep hoops focus on a certain age group. So if you break it down like that,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But as far as just certain tournaments down here doing that, me personally, I don't think it'll work, because now you're looking at the director saying, I'm going to lose way more than I'm going to gain. But
I think he's going to gain.
Mindset, though. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying.
what
You
I'm
got to
saying,
go
But
back
that's
to
what
that
I'm saying.
mindset.
If you the only person,
Yeah.
if you the only person focusing on elementary, you no longer have such and such here and such and here not stealing. He got 5 elementary teams here and here, but you know all 15 elementary schools coming to you. I mean, teams coming to you that weekend. You still winning.
Yeah.
But
how
you
many?
will win more if you said, okay, I got those, but that group has ages, grades, 3rd grade all the way up to seniors.
But we going to
So,
rotate
shoot,
it.
I'm looking at I know I'm getting 15 groups, but I can get 15 more because they're going to bring extra. So they were looking at the money. It goes all the way back to the money.
If we rotate it, so like say all of us are promoters, tournament throwers. So he get elementary school, I get middle, you get the 8th and 9th grade,
varsity.
then you get senior high school.
You get varsity, yeah.
So then the next weekend it rotates. So now he get this, I get whatever he had, and vice versa. So it's like everybody gonna get their money. It's enough money out here for everybody to get the money. It's just like being strategic in how we moving so we all can eat. It don't help nothing if you the only one eating right now. Guess what? It's gonna come a point where your stuff gonna get to a point where everybody gonna move on from that. Now you got to worry about, well, how can I be competitive enough to keep people? So they done moved on to this group of tournament promoters. So it's just like, let's set it up where we all can eat at the same time and continue to eat by
And
keeping
I feel like
it
it's too
rotating.
much hitting and missing.
Egos.
No, but no,
State,
that's what I'm saying.
happens.
But that's what I'm saying.
It hasn't happened yet, but I feel like it can. If it's happened out of state, we can make it happen here. It's just that you got to change that mindset.
And that's what I'm saying.
We
You
think
right,
it's
you right, Pip.
small-minded.
It is
Yeah.
egos, but we just hear a discussion about how can we change. Now, whether they take it or not, that's on them. But I mean, like I said, we don't have it all figured out. But what I will say is too, though, every year.
Look.
Well, you got something, Marcus? Come on, give me something, there, Marcus. Give me something.
How can we fix it?
No, just solutions.
Just
ideas.
suggestional solution. We just
What we think
suggest.
could work.
You know that we don't know if they're gonna take it or not. We just giving you our opinion. Just like
The
your-
most honest answer is you got to get rid of some of these teams.
yeah.
That's the most. I mean, I know you don't want to say it, but you got to get rid of most of these teams that they're just going around just to be going.
Well, I mean, there was a time when we was in the way. So I
I mean, I know
You was in the way.
No, I'm just saying. When you think about AAU sports, especially in Arkansas,
yeah.
when I was growing up, it was just a select few of teams.
Yeah.
We have to be honest with it. Now, every kid that steps on the court is not there to play basketball.
I guess.
So how do you switch that though when you got parents that saying, I know he's not good, but I want him around the program because I want him out of the streets. This is a way to get him out of the streets. So how do you
filter it?
Yeah, how do you do that then?
I mean, it has to be a
Well, hold on. Let's segue into that. A pivot then, man. That was Marcus with the big news. Do you feel like Arkansas sports is too saturated with teams?
when it comes to AAU, yeah, I believe it is.
Basketball?
AAU basketball. Now
Okay.
I don't know too much about football, but when it comes to AAU basketball, I believe it is too saturated with teams.
So do you feel like it's saturated with just too many teams good, or you feel like a lot of people in the way?
I feel like a lot of people in the way.
Okay.
And I believe, and it's just my humble opinion that there's more things you can have your kids do other than playing basketball to keep them off the streets.
Yeah.
I believe you just saying, I just want to put my kid in this because I want to keep him out of the street. I believe that's just not the way to do it.
It's a babysitting tool.
It's a babysitting tool. I wanted to say that, but I just believe you find out what your kid want to do and then invest that time into doing that. I mean, if your kid want to really play basketball, let him play basketball.
So let me ask you this, and we're gonna I want y'all to touch on it too. I'm asking you not to disagree with you, but I hear two different points a little bit. So let's kind of put them together. That people putting their kids on the team is a parent issue, but when we say it's too many teams in a way, we're talking about people creating teams. That's not a parent issue. You see what I'm saying? So if a parent chooses to put their kids on the team just because they don't want them in the street, what are you saying about people who are just starting teams too, though? Because, we talking about what age we talking about?
Like 8,
9, that's still cool to put your...
I believe you should start young.
Yeah.
You should start young and work your way up. Work your way up. I mean, when it comes to starting the team and you look at your team and say, we're just not that good right now.
Y'all need to have that discussion.
Yeah, we need to have that discussion.
But you see why I asked that, though?
Yeah,
you got people who just starting team, but you know what I'm saying? That creates it being saturated, but that's still another point, too. People just putting, you get what I'm saying? 'Cause you got people that drop kids off at medium, good teams, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I believe it's also diluted. Then I also believe it's too top heavy, too, though. I believe we need to balance. We need to balance it out when it comes to the competitive sports of the whole basketball game. I mean, when you look at most of the good players on one team, of course you need somebody to play against.
Yeah.
So who better play against than somebody out there?
But that's the reason why you got some of these coaches creating different, creating their own team, because you see some of the BS that's going on, and then you got some of these kids' parents. my kid can play, my kid can do that, but then it may come down to politics. Who's putting money into the program, who's doing this, doing that. So they create another avenue for some of these kids. So now you got another pop-up team. You know what I'm saying? Which it might be good intentions, but it's still adding to another team.
My only concern is that what we said earlier, there is a major gap between the top tier teams and the next level. That's my only concern. So we can start a team, we can do all of this, but there is a major gap between the top tier players and then the next one. And that's my only concern when it comes to adding teams. Are we developing? So now we need to go to some more stuff where
It's a whole different topic right
I mean,
there,
yeah,
G.
but you know what I'm saying?
That's a
So
whole
but
different topic.
when we are getting these teams, there is a major gap between the top tier and the next quadritier.
You're right. It's because it's a lot of it too. It's gonna take some time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because let's just be honest. We're not new, but we are new. So it's gonna take some time.
Now,
for
when
us
you
to
when you
get
say
something
new,
like
who knew Arkansas or the organization?
the organization.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it's gonna take some time to get on the level of Next Page Force, which I would say, just as me personally, I don't think as far as competing wise, we're far off. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of let's set something up. That probably might be the cockiness in me or the ability that the faith that I have in my players and my coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that's all of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you got you said something that was very important. You got some people starting these programs up and can't coach worth a lick. You know what I'm saying? So are you developing these kids? Because if you starting a program up and you can develop kids and you got a coaching staff on every age group that these parents want to bring their kids to and they're going to develop them, it's going to take some time for them to get to a certain point, but rest assured they can reach that. You know what I'm saying? So
What you done, Coach Drew?
I mean, I see both sides of it. Yeah, it's too many teams, but I don't think the problem is just that it's too many teams. I think it's too many teams that's misplaced on like the skill level. So instead of being with your skill level, you playing either below or above. So I kind of agree with both of y'all, what y'all saying. Like, yeah, we could cut down on the teams, but at the same time, let's filter it out with the teams of, all right, we got the elite squad, we got intermediate team, so you ain't there yet where you can play at the elite level, but we can get you there. So maybe this summer, don't go registering in tournaments where it's elite team playing, but don't go register in tournaments where you got straight beginning team playing at the same time. So I feel like it just needs to be more of a filter between where we can draw the line on what level is your team on.
So do we go back to talking about the directors when I think what is that tournament in Texas? The Great American Shootout, something like that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they have it to where it's broken down to skill set. They have like D1, D2.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the directors now, okay, this is a first-year program. We need to break it down to D1, D2, JUCO. We more of a JUCO level than we are D1. So
I think it
go
go down to everybody. Like, everybody needs to go back to the drawing board. Directors, coaches, parents, everybody needs to go sit down at the drawing board and be realistic with themselves about where they at. Because, I mean, let's be real, the people promoting the tournaments, they can set it up that way where you got gold, silver, and platinum and all of that. But if I register my team as gold, that ain't on them, because I put it on my registration paper that I got a gold team. So when I got this other gold team that come play and beat us by 60, that ain't the tournament people's fault. That's my fault. So I think everybody just got to be more realistic about where we at, what we doing, where my group at. We can't have that fear of. I think earlier somebody talked about stealing players getting stolen when they come from a beginning or a startup team. And I think you can't have that fear of, I need to conform to registering in these major tournaments out of fear that my players gonna get stolen from other teams that's already doing this. You gotta have that conversation with your parents, like, hey, this team right now, we developing these kids. So we not gonna go and push to go out of state right now. We gonna do a lot of developmental stuff right here, right now, and we gonna play other teams that are developing too to help these kids get better. And then next year we come sit down and talk again about, okay, where we at now.
So if you got a good player on your developmental team, would you push him out to another team?
I think that's just a conversation for between the parent and the coach, like what you think is best for your child. I can only tell you what my program is leaning towards right now. If I have a majority of the team, if I got 8 players that's all in the developmental stage and you got 1 that's elite, go back to talking about what's best for the kids. If we always have that in the forefront of the conversation, I think it'll be a different turnout of what everybody look like. So at that point, I need to have a realistic conversation with these parents that, hey, this is what we got on the team. This is where your baby is. We can play this 1 or 2 ways. We can let your baby stay and then we can not help build, but help your baby to understand what it's like to play with a group that's not all the way on your level and how that can develop you as a player. Or would you prefer to try to find another organization that I might have contacts with that have an elite team that your child may benefit from in a different way?
And then that's when you say, but if you want to stay, we would love to have
we would
you.
love to keep you here. But we only talking about what's good for the kids.
Yeah.
So let me say this. All y'all make wonderful points.
Wonderful. Here we go.
Wonderful points.
But you got the best one.
No.
Let's hear it, Coach Edwin.
No, we're not here for that. We're not here for that. What I am saying is, all that is great, but they're not setting up these tournaments for that to go down. Like, for one, people not gearing up their teams even. Like, and we said this, but bringing it home, they're not even gearing up their teams to even battle at home. Like, when you start gearing up your team, you don't even think about Little Rock. You straight live periods. So, hold on, I'm going to say this, though. So, when you asking these tournament directors to be like, hey, we need to do gold, silver, and blue, we don't even have a committee, or that's why shows like this are important, because when you got people that can go out and properly assess these teams during the seasons, and they can say, hey, this team, this, and that, but you're not going to have a tournament director be like, they don't care what your skill level. They just want your money. Hey, thank you. You get what I'm saying? Like, nobody gonna turn down nobody behind you being bronze, and we couldn't make that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead, Mark.
I mean,
it costs too much to be structured. It costs them too much to be structured.
I believe we go back to if we go to what Jamal was saying, the D1, the D2, the levels.
Yeah.
And you sign your team up for the level that you think they are.
Yeah.
I think that will help balance, because at the end of the day, I know you paying this money, but you also want to see good competition.
But this is what I'm saying though, Marcus. All the D1 kids don't play here.
But you still can have enough to where you putting out something good. Like,
no, that's true.
I would think we probably need to get what's that tournament that do it? I wanted to say Prep Hoops, but don't quote me on this. It's a tournament it's not a tournament. It's a showcase. So let's get out of the tournament format.
Trophies.
Yeah, the trophy, the rings, you know what I'm saying? You know, all of that stuff. Let's just get to, this is a showcase. And it can go to the gold, silver, you know what I'm saying, bronze package, you know, type deal, competitiveness. And then you just say, all right, if your team is gold, we got 5 other gold teams that's registered for this.
So let me ask you, not to cut you off. Let me stop you right
there.
there. I want you to finish your point. But who determines what's gold? Hold on, hear me out. No. You are saying something that is perfectly logical. But we talking about in the state of Arkansas right now, knowing what's going on. Let's don't talk in a perfect situation. Let's talk about what's going on now. Who is there to determine what's gold?
That's something you have to build.
No, that's what I'm asking. Do we form a committee? There's gonna be like assessment, point systems.
That's something that you have to build, and you determine. I would determine gold by your record. your record.
Well,
And
I don't
that's
even
what
think
I'm
you can say
saying. My
record, 'cause if
record-
you've been playing in Rudy Pool
Yeah.
tournament,
I mean, I'm
goes
just
by.
saying, if you're playing like everybody starts off, it's like since we're building it up,
Yeah.
everybody has to start off at the same page, and then the cream of the crop will rise to the top. It will rise to the top.
You could do it's first
Because it's hard.
Be,
It's gonna be hard to say I can put you in goal when I've never seen your team play.
So let me ask you this, not to cut you off, but because I want to we want to take this home, put this in perspective. The qualification for gold is you had to at least win 2 tournaments that summer, maybe 1 for starting out.
I don't think you can say that either, because I don't want to say any tournaments, but you can go to a tournament and win that thing. And
I know, but we trying to put together a format.
So everybody pretty much now has seen just about every team down here.
Yeah.
So if next page for us come, I hate to keep using next page for us come, I know they're not a bronze team. So if you say you go, I know you go. This say a startup team, you say you go. I'm sorry, I'm going by my eye test. I'm the director. All 4 of y'all on my committee, y'all agree this is not a gold team. So we're gonna put you in. We're not gonna disrespect you. We're not gonna put you in bronze. We're gonna put you in maybe silver.
But no, that's what I'm
So
asking.
wait.
That's
So
how
do
you
you
can
got to
try to-
submit some kind of footage of your team playing?
I don't even
or-
think you got to go that much because everybody know everybody.
But
y'all,
you said
we
that-
all
But hold
know-
on.
If it's a startup team, we don't.
We know we ain't never heard of the Arkansas green
but
leaf.
y'all-
No.
No.
But hold on. This what I'm asking. I'm asking because if you still leave the power in 1 or 2 people, at some point it's gonna be coming about money. You have to set guidelines and some type
I
of
got
structure in the beginning. So if the beginning structure is and guideline is, hey, regardless of the tournament, at least at the minimum, you won at least 1 or 2 tournaments. I understand what you're saying, Bill. But what I'm saying is for the beginning and for the sake of it, you had to at least win 1 tournament. Like you can't. That's the
I
requirement.
think you can make that a qualification.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
but
that's
you have
the goal.
a committee. You
I
have a
think
committee
that,
that also
yeah,
helps
the
make that
committee
determination.
thing.
Like you have to have at least, I'm just throwing it out there. You got to at least have three must see players. You got to at least win 2
And see,
tournaments.
and that's
Like,
what I'm
you know
getting
saying?
at,
Like,
and
certain
that's what I'm
stuff like
saying.
that, but
Because a
it'd be
committee
a
can be
conversation.
tainted too when we get to talking about money. Look, man,
Well,
They go
this
what
the
you
thing.
said,
Go
though.
back
If
to
you're not making
having
it about
all
money,
of the.
you're making it about the kids.
Go
then
back
you
to
gotta,
having all of the tournament throwers be a part of the committee. If all of
Yeah.
y'all are part of the same committee, I'm not gonna jip myself by telling you this a gold team when I know it's a bronze team. I'm gonna have to be real in this meeting.
but
when we all here
that's what I'm
together.
saying. But when you still leave it to people, if you don't have guidelines and requirements, things start to become subjective. Because in your mind, you seen the North Little Rock Lambda Lambs. They was good when you seen them. And then when Marcus seen them, they was.
But
man,
let's
I
be
don't know.
real.
Now
Like
you
I
come
said,
to an
everybody
agreement,
knows
though.
everybody, though.
But that's what I'm
We
saying.
can
But
say that,
that's why
everybody
the
knows
guideline.
everybody.
That's why I'm saying it's good to have like some form of a
Basic-
guideline.
basic
I believe
guidelines.
it should
Basic.
go. I believe it
I
should
don't
go.
care if you won the Arkansas State Street Tournament. If you won, that's
You
your
won.
trophy. You won.
Yeah.
I believe it should go off the previous summer. Of
That-
what-
that should be a
of
play
what-
in it.
of what- And
Yeah.
then who was in the tournament that you
Yeah.
played, or did you just go some dicky tournament? Just get who was in these tournaments that you played? Did you beat Arkansas Page Force? Did you beat?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's a
yeah.
circuit that when you fill out your stuff to try to join that circuit, they ask you that, your record from previous years. They ask you
Yeah.
certain stuff like that. So my proposal would be your tournament directors that's out here throwing tournaments, come together, form a committee. You can still do your own thing, but set
In the
aside a
beginning.
series of tournaments, maybe 3 or 4 starting off, a series of tournaments where y'all come together, y'all this committee, and y'all do the bronze, gold,
But then I
silver
think
type deal.
it also has to tie all has to tie in together.
Yeah, it's,
That's what
it's
I'm
a
saying.
point
So, like,
system.
that's what
Facts.
I'm saying.
That's
So
what
a
I'm
series.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it has to be like, because back in the day, I know we're not at you, but we played tournaments, but it all laid up to AAU.
Yeah.
Which means what? Once we won AAU, we had the pride of winning
Right.
Arkansas to another state to win this tournament. So that it all has to lead up to this one big tournament.
Exactly.
So that'll be my thing because everybody had tried to bring the state tournament back
but it came
to
out
Arkansas.
of
So
nowhere.
you got what, the state tournament?
The one, hold on. So let me make sure we're on the same page. The one I seen last year, I think.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting.
But
at.
it
So
came
the
out of
state
nowhere.
tournament was something that was real big back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So they was talking about bringing it back. So now you have a couple organizations
Organizations, by the
trying
way.
to bring a state tournament back. And I will say too, you got Darren Hobson doing a state tournament. and you have Jason Lanier doing the state tournament. So why do we have so many state tournaments when we're trying to find one true champion of the state? So when you do the series, it all leads up to a true state champion. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all out on this committee, y'all come together, then those series of tournaments leads to, and you may have started out in silver, but by the time you got to the third tournament before the big one, now you in the gold package and you got a true chance to compete.
Because I ain't gonna lie.
So that'll be something that I think would be very interesting.
And they can split regions.
That we can do.
They can split. You can split regions to get up to the state tournament. Like if everybody want money, you take South, East, West, and if you want to do the Southeast, that's fine. I don't know however you work it out, but these is out. Now this is where the meat and potatoes at. You all come together. You set up a point system. People will start taking the competing more serious. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, it be some tournaments where if we lose, we was just getting this for reps. And like you ain't feel bad for losing, but once people start realizing that these wins and losses are meaningful here at state, people will start taking it a lot more serious. And then some teams even bow like, nah, we ain't finna. But when you start setting that tradition of bragging rights and tradition, that's when you start getting the most out of, maximizing just everything you can when it comes to any type of team. So the resources and the benefits. So that I love the points y'all made. And I feel like that is something that we might need to talk to these tournaments.
Yeah, that's what I would say. So I'm finna ask you. So
Yes,
are you gonna go? Who's gonna go to these directors and be
This
like,
show.
hey,
Put it out right now.
I ain't gonna lie to you. So
We
I'm gonna say
put it
this.
out.
I can look in your camera right now. I got a relationship with Darren,
Josh,
Carlos.
Jason,
With Jason, I know he do a couple of tournaments.
Jason Lanier, he does some.
Yeah,
of
I
the
know he
bigger
do jamming
tournaments,
for
so he's bringing
Jersey,
them back down to
but more the
State.
consistent ones.
Yeah.
I got relationship with all of them. So hey,
Let's get them on the horn.
let's talk and see what we can make happen. Hopefully they see the show, and we can make this happen because that is something that we do need to bring back.
We got to get these
to
top
bring
teams,
all this back to full circle.
compete against each
Full circle is tradition. Everybody want to be the big program and the ultimate program, but who's gonna want to bring the tradition back to Arkansas if there was one?
So a simple yes or no. So with all this being said,
Yes or no?
do you think?
No, I'm listening.
With all this being said, the points that we've made, do you think putting this into play, even though it's gonna be a startup, would that keep the kids in the state of Arkansas?
It'll keep some. When people start, yes. I gave you a
Thank
yes.
you. Yes or no? That's all I want.
No, but I'm saying,
I don't
but-
want you to elaborate.
Yeah, you gotta elaborate. So yes, but I'm gonna say this though. Once people start seeing tradition, because every state that kids run to is states of tradition. Texas, Florida. Like when you think about the kids we done lost, they always going to Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky. Basketball, nobody ever ran off to Wyoming. I've never heard a kid go to Denver.
Brad that went to Mark Tree.
What
He
is
went to
that?
Wyoming.
There's always
Hey, you
a
went
wild
to-
card.
but I ain't gonna lie to you. It's
West
always gonna
Memphis.
be a wild card slash
Nah.
exception. But for the most part, I've never heard Arkansas lose a kid to Montana.
But we are losing kids to other colleges, like
Facts.
and big name kids. I would hate to say some kids.
I added that too.
But yeah, Arkansas got to get back to keeping these kids in state.
You got to grasp their attention, man. You most definitely got to give them something to look forward to. Because at no point should a tournament just be a tournament of, we just here to get some reps. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we got to go to Tennessee for you to start coaching hard and saying, come on now? You know what I'm saying? But when you're in Arkansas, all right, man, yeah.
You didn't even get off the
Yeah.
bench.
Yeah, like, so I mean, yeah, tradition.
All right.
And we're going to try to establish that here in Arkansas. Man, hey, you gotta let these people know you're serious.
Hey, this is the segment where we give a player or team shout out, to end the show. So me personally, I want to give a shout out to them freshman boys over at Central High School. They over there balling. They done won 2 tournaments already. But yeah, major shout out to them boys over there hooping.
Coach Mark?
I want to give a shout out to Ty King over there at Scott Charter. He's a junior, averaging 30 at Scott Charter. Went to go see him last Friday. He was being triple team, double team, and he was still putting up buckets. And they had a young lady on their team too, and he was still balling out. So Ty King of Scott Charter.
Okay. Shout out to Kaya McCoy out there in Springdale doing big things. She playing varsity right now, 9th grader playing varsity, and she She scored 12 points or 17 points in the first varsity game, guarding a signed player already. So big shouts out to Kaya McCoy.
Yeah, my shout out gonna go to Jacob Lanier, playing up on varsity this year at Mount Hill High. I've been following this kid, stats crazy. So shout out to him for doing what he doing and putting in that hard work over there, man. I see he helped Mount Hill pull out a comeback victory. Coming in the game late. So Jacob Lanier, man, shout out to him. If you have any highlights or anything that you want to send in and be seen on the show, please send it to our email. We'll have it posted on the screen. And another thing, fans, please feel free to comment in the comment section. Post any questions in the comments about the show, any opinions. We would love to have them. We'll address them next show. To my tournament directors, if you want to come in here and voice your opinion, please reach out. This show was not about any slander. We wasn't down talking about it. We just giving our opinion on just how can we better the state of Arkansas when it comes to sports. Like I said, next week we'll be out at certain games, scouting and giving more shout outs to players and posting highlights. Pip. Marcus.
We want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Matter of fact, right now they full. Yeah, when you watch this,
already started.
You'll be full. So happy belated Thanksgiving. Yeah. Drew.
Happy holidays. Everybody stay safe out here.
Stay safe. Hey, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, look, do not drink and drive. If you're an athlete, hey, go get that turkey, get that dressing, get back to that workout.
Shout out to Coach Red, who's not here today.
Coach Red. Yeah, hope she feel better. Be on the lookout for more one-on-one content with coaches and trainers. Hey, thank you again for tuning in. I'm Coach E.
Bulldogs out.
Open Runs and Talk, brought to you by The Studio.